The next question comes from Mirror Marble. She asks your thoughts in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Bronalysis, and Broadway musicals.
Actually, I'm going to put my answer to Bronalysis community in last because I have much to say with that one. Anyways, Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I haven't saw any videos of that series from Team 4-Star. I might watch them in the future, but as of this video, I'm a bit too busy to do so. And for Broadway musicals, I'm not really a fan of those, to be honest. Now to the Bronalysis community. The first analyst I came across with during the early years of the MLP fandom was actually Digigex90. I forgot what was the first video I saw from him, but I will admit I have not saw much of his content. You know what I didn't know though is that I did not know that a bunch of other people would actually jump into reviewing the show and actually becoming a community. I thought this would be just an individual thing, like the Nostalgia Critic, Angry Video Game Nerd, and other non-brony YouTubers that I appreciate. At first in the past, I was a bit iffy with the community because for stupid reasons. But over time, I decided to look into the other members of the community and, well, let's just say I became a fan with some of them. There are some other members in this community that I'm not really a fan of because due to their content not being that interesting to me. But as of this year, I've been thinking about giving some of these other analysts a chance. One last thing I have to say is that nowadays I do think that this community is alright. There are some analysts I do like, and there are some others I'm not really a fan of, but heck, at least I don't have any conflicts with them. And to be honest, I do like being a member of this community.
The next question comes from Blue Prism. He asks, would you be willing to do a review of the Japanese dub of MLB?
Not really, because it'd probably just be the same thing, but just with different voice actors and a few other differences.
The next question comes from Laser Talk and he posted 2 comments of questions for you. Question 1. What is your current setup for creating YouTube videos, and what do you plan to upgrade in your setup?
Alright, for my script writing, I use Google Docs. For my lines, I use a Blue Snowball mic, and the software I use is Audacity. And the video editing software I use is Wondershare Filmora. And if I were to upgrade my setup, 2 things would have been upgraded. 1, my microphone if it ever dies out on me, but as of this video, that never happened, and thank God it didn't. And number 2, as much as I'm sticking with Filmora for now, I might switch to Sony Vegas or HitFilm Express in the future. But as for other things, I am still sticking with Audacity and Google Docs for a long time because I love using these things for my YouTube videos.
Question 2. What are some of your favorite channels to watch on YouTube?
Here are some YouTube channels that I actually like. Nostalgia Critic, aka Doug Walker. Angry Video Game Nerd, aka James Rolfe. Some Call Me Johnny. Adam Car League. Lazy Game Reviews. Nitro Rad. Bad Man Reviews. Phaelus. Bob Show. SMG4, Gaming Historian, and last but not least, Metal Jesus Rocks.
Question 3. Any plans for future collabs?
I got some collabs in progress.
Last question. Are you looking for collab partners?
Well, I am trying to be open to collabs as much as I can, even doing it with the same brony, but I even have my own limits, so it depends on the project. The collabs I would be most interested in are reviews, because reviews are my most favorite subject of YouTube videos, but most specifically video games, TV shows, and movies.
The next question comes from Wooden Sword and he has multiple questions. Question 1. What inspired you to create content?
Well, for my reviews, I was inspired from many reviewers, including a close friend of mine, MeltyMan234. For my retrospectives, it's MeltyMan234. And for my speed paint videos, I was inspired from a few friends of mine like Summer and Galaxy Pixies 45.
Question 2. Do you have an upload schedule?
I only upload videos whenever I want to because I might be busy with some stuff with college and sometimes family.
Question 3. Favorite brony YouTubers?
Of course!
Here are some examples. Yourself One Sword, Yugi Brony, Washable Pony, Dr. Wolf, Lightning Bliss, Gary the Griffin, EG Studios, Super Nina, My Sky, Sketchy the Changeling, Miss Anthropony, Wolf King, Mad Munchkin, Zion Craze, and of course, Archer at Headhunter Productions.
Last question, ya like pineapples? Me neither.
Actually, I like pineapples.
The next question comes from Kyla Victoria on DZandert. She asks, what got you interested in Sly Cooper, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblade, and FNAF?
For Sly Cooper, I already made a retrospective on net if you want to go check that out. For Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, I'm going to be saving those for a future retrospective. For Pokemon, I was into the franchise since when I was a kid, but I'm not for sure exactly who or what inspired me to get into Pokemon. For Digimon, I knew the franchise in my youth, but I wasn't much interested compared to Pokemon. But that was until years later when I actually decided to give the franchise a chance. And I will admit that the Digimon anime is much better than Pokemon's anime. For the Digimon games, I only liked a few because some of the other ones that I will admit that they just aren't as good. But I'm mostly referring to some of the past games because I actually heard Cyber Sleuth and some of the other ones are actually good. For Beyblade, I remember watching the anime years ago, and that time, that's actually when the Beyblades used to be made out of plastic before being made out of metal years later. I like the anime, and I remember having the PS1 game based out of the first season of the Plastic Beyblade series. And I do remember having some of the Plastic Beyblades, but nowadays, I no longer own them except for the PS1 game. And to be honest, I watched the anime until when the third season of the Plastic series was over. But that was until years later when I saw the Metal series back in 2009 or 2010, and watched the entire Metal series until Shogun Steel. And as for Five Nights at Freddy's, I first heard about it from Markiplier, and I wasn't into the franchise at first until I actually saw his Let's Play of the first game. And for a while, I was into the franchise, but sadly, I lost interest with it after the fourth game. Not that the fourth game was bad or anything, but I kinda wish the fourth game was the last FNAF game.
The next question comes from Caman's sister Paint in DZandert, and she asked multiple questions. Question 1. What are your thoughts on the 2017 Power Rangers movie?
I never saw the 2017 Power Rangers movie, but whenever I actually do so, I will be making a review out of it.
Last question. If the Psycho Rangers were ponies, how would you see them? Bad ponies or changelings?
I would actually see them as bad ponies.
The next question comes from SkySoul25 in DZandert, and she has two questions. Question 1. Digi, how can I be cool like you?
Oh, to be honest, I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry.
And her last question is, do you have any personal goals for this year that you want to meet?
Short answer, I already made a journal entry about that.
Your last question comes from the Changeling King in Skype, and he has two questions. Question 1. What got you into Fallout Equestria? And question 2 is, what other shows you like?
I'm going to skip question 2 because I already answered that. And for the last question of this video, I actually have some things to say about it. For one, I first heard about Fallout Equestria sometime later in 2012, and I was not interested with this thing at first. In fact, I was getting tired of it popping up everywhere, like whenever I saw it on DA or YouTube. And it actually continued until like somewhere in late 2015 where I just give up on resisting myself towards it and just finally look into its lore when I just saw it on the FOE wiki. And when I was actually majorly playing Fallout 3 and then later Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, to be honest, I never read much of the original story on Google Docs or anything. Instead, I only just look at its lore through the wiki and hearing about this story from different Fallout Equestria fans. I know it's odd for me to learn about this, but I guess I just went with it. And yeah, I am aware of the side stories it had, including the most popular of the bunch, Project Horizons, which it was praised, but yet it had controversy, especially with its later chapters. And at one point, I did try to make a Fallout Equestria fanfic of my own called Zeta Aftermath, which it was meant to be taking place in an alternate Fallout Equestria universe with bits and pieces of the original lore still intact. I will admit that the story actually had some sort of potential, but due to plot holes and lack of interest over time, I canceled the fanfic, and I won't be reworking on that thing anytime soon. Nowadays, as of this video, I'm not into Fallout Equestria as much as I used to, due to being focused on videos and artwork. But I don't mind looking into different fan art of Fallout Equestria. So I hope that answers your question. Well, that's about it for this Q&A vid. Thank you guys for submitting many questions to me as much as you can. That was a long one, but thank God there were not like 1,000 bronies or more, because I would have been overwhelmed as hell. As I said before, the next time I will be doing another Q&A is whenever I actually reach 1K subs. Anyways, this is Digigex90
and Zaribox
signing out, and we will see you on the next video. Peace!